Hey, welcome everybody. CB Cards and Dice. Welcome to Tabletop Baseball TV. And this is your host, CP. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to a presentation of the 2019 Mets. It's the San Diego Padres in Citi Field in New York, in beautiful downtown Flushing, Queens. Just a few, hey, Red Sox fan, hello. How are you? Let's go Mets. And it's going to be Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Mets, the Amazons, against Eric Lauer. Lauer was 8-10 with a 4.45 ERA, 150 innings pitched. And he does have a batting card with Inside Pitch Baseball. We're using Inside Pitch Baseball to replay this game. This is game 102 on the season. Now the Mets are 50-51, and they sit in second place in the NL East. Mickey Callaway's doing a heck of a job. And San Diego's 51-50. They're in third place in the NL West. Andy Green is at the helm there. Jacob deGrom in the league replay. 21st start, 132 innings pitched, 197 ERA. He's 11-2. So he's doing much better. He was 11-8 in reality. That's because the Mets didn't give him much offensive support. But in our replay, he's getting the offensive support that he needs. And he's 11-2, so having a Cy Young Award level replay season. He was the Cy Young Award winner for the second consecutive year in 2019. And I was feeling a little bit in the mood for a 2019 game, since we're not going to probably have a 2020 season. So I wanted to see I wanted to get the feel for a little bit of modern baseball. I've been playing a lot of retro stuff in the 70s lately. So here we are, and we're replaying the 2019 New York Mets, and we're right about to start. Let me go over the lineup for the visiting San Diego Padres. It's going to be Fernando Tatis Jr. at shortstop. He's actually having a great replay. He's batting .350, probably in the league leaders. Batting second is center fielder Manuel Margot. Batting third is what can I say? Manny Machado. There's so many different words that came to my mind that I just froze up. Batting in the cleanup spot is Eric Hosmer. He's the first baseman. He's batting .273. Batting fifth is Hunter Renfroe. He's in left field. He usually plays right field, but he's playing left field because the sixth place batter is Franmil Reyes, and he's in right field. Batting seventh is the catcher, Fernando Mejia. He's having a heck of a season, batting .289. Batting eighth is the second baseman, Luis Urias. He's having a horrible, horrible season at .162. And finally, it's the ninth place batter, the pitcher, Eric Lauer. Now, the defense for the Mets is J.D. Davis in left, Lagares in center, and Conforto in right. Around the infield from third to first is Frazier, Rosario, Cano, and Alonso. Behind the plate is Wilson Ramos, the clutch Wilson Ramos. And on the mound is, as we said earlier, Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom had a .243 ERA and was 11-8 in 2019. I don't know what his stats will look like for 2020, but whatever it is, it's going to be a wash. It's going to be a disappointing season. It's going to be like a 94 and 81 season, where nobody really takes those seasons seriously, and you don't weigh those seasons. They don't carry the same weight as every other season. So basically, we lost the 2020 season, and I was thinking that players will be 1 year older when they get back, and their contracts will be 1 year shorter. So if you had if you expected to see one of your favorite players for that extra year, you may not get to see him anymore, because either his contract may be up or they may trade him in the following season, because that'll be the last year of his contract, that sort of thing. So this messes us up totally, and I think this is going to redirect the focus into the 70s and 80s. I feel strongly that since they aren't going to see a lot of sales with 2020, I think the designers are going to focus a little bit more on the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And that's my feel for at least a year, for sure. So expect to see, your favorite teams from the past appearing on the websites and on the ads and so on and so forth. I have a couple of replays going. I have a 87 Mets replay. I have a 76 Yankees replay, and I have a 69 Mets replay going on at the moment. And I'm right about to start some other replays as well. I got this 2019 replay as well, and I got my 1985 Status Pro replay, which I have sitting here on my desk to my left. I've got that available to me. The little mini Status Pro cards. Look how small they are. Very cool stuff. Okay, I got that with the fast action deck. I love that aspect of Status Pros. The only thing with Status Pros, they have the anomaly of the catcher, the G2, that is always popping up when you flip the cards. There's a lot of G2 results, so that's got to be changed to like a 1-3. I think the Advanced Status Pro corrected that. You don't get 3 G2s per game. It happens maybe every 3 games or every 2 games or maybe every 4 games, but not every 3 or 2 or 3 every game. So anyway, you can just change that easily to a 1-3, for example. And that's something that happens a little bit more often. All right. Let's get started. And the way you play inside pitch baseball is you read let's do that. You read the red first. So that's a 4 off the pitcher. It goes pitcher, batter, and then sometimes you get the ballpark card, which gives you that randomness, that additional randomness, which I love. So that's column 4, and Jacob deGrom has every column for Jacob deGrom is a good column. It's going to be the row 3, and a 4-3 is going to be a range play at the ballpark. That requires us to grab a green die for the range. Now 6s are hits, 1s are outs, and everything in between we're going to have to look. Now these players aren't very good in terms of fielding wise. The outfield for the Mets is not very good at all, and the infield is not much better. Frazier's okay at third, and Alonso's okay at first, but Rosario and Cano are not very good. J.D. Davis is horrible. Lagares and Conforto hold their own. So here goes. See what happens. That's a 6, so that's going to be some sort of hit. 66 off Fernando Tatis, and that's versus a righty. That's going to be a ground ball, but that's past the second baseman Cano, who's a 2. So that goes into right field, and it's picked up by Conforto. He throws it in. So that's a single, a leadoff single for Fernando Tatis. Now let's see what kind of stolen base attempt he has. He's a 4 stolen base. And we're going to check that. Now deGrom is a +2. That makes it a 6, and that's going to qualify him for a jump. And he's going to be headed to second. He's a 15. Our throwing arm, Wilson Ramos' throwing arm, he's probably a plus, because not very good. Once we learn that we see it a couple of times, we'll remember it. So right now, I just started with these cards, so I don't know. Now, these are PDFs. I got the Insta Ink. He's a +2, so that turns Tatis into a 17. And even deGrom has a +1. He becomes an 18. He's got a 15 card, +1 for deGrom, +2 for, so that's an 18, and he steals second base. Throw is high, and Cano has to do what he can to save that from going to the outfield. So there's a single and a stolen base, and run around second. All right, so let's get that back up there. And next is going to be Manuel Margot, who's batting .215 with 8 home runs. Going to return that green die. That green die is my range play die. All right, this is a 6-5 off deGrom's card, and that's going to be ballpark. So we're going to grab the ballpark again for Margot, and we're going to roll on it. 6-1, and that's a star line 5, which is a pop-up to left field. Rosario and Frazier back, Davis in, and Davis calls him off, makes the catch. Back to second is Tatis. That's 1 out now for deGrom. Manny Machado batted .256 with 32 home runs. Here's the pitch We look off deGrom first. It's a 5-2, and that's going to be double question mark, a 20 double question mark. A 20 double question mark is no result there. So we're going to we're going to roll off Machado, a 2-5er. And that's a ground ball pulled down the line and past the diving Frazier into left field. Now, we don't know with one out. We may try to score Tatis here. Let's see. Let's look at J.D. Davis's arm out there. Again, I'm learning all these ratings. Once I learn them, it goes much faster. He has no rating in left field for arm-wise. Tatis is a base runner. What kind of base runner is he? He is a 5 base runner. Holy smokes, he is fast. All right, so, and then we're going to have to look at the modifiers for an S5, and it's a 5 or better. He scores, and Tatis is going to be waved around, and the relay to home is not in time, not nearly in time. It's an RBI single from Manny Machado. So deGrom here is giving up a run already in the first inning against the San Diego Padres. Now Machado is not going to be running, and it's going to be Hosmer 6-1, and that's wild. 17 won't be wild. Now we go to Hosmer 6-5, and that's a ground ball past Cano into right field. And that's going to get Machado. Let's see Machado's speed. Machado's a 3 base runner. Don't know. That may get him to third. He needs a 2 or better, and he is. So he's going to make it to third base. So first and third now, with only one out. So deGrom's been pitching into some tough luck. All right, Hunter Renfroe. And that's a 2-2, and that's a potential strikeout, and a 5 will be a strikeout. There's no doubt about that. 2 outs. Hunter Renfroe downswinging. The high heat, the high cheese from deGrom is too much for Renfroe to handle. And now it's Franmil Reyes. And Franmil had hit, oh wow, he's got 27 home runs in half the season. He hit 37 home runs, so he's doing a little bit. He's doing better than he actually did. Batting 243, and in reality, he batted 249. Here's the pitch from deGrom. It's 2-2. That's a K. A 17 is not a K, so we're going to roll off of Franmil Reyes. And that ball is a ground ball and into outfield for a base hit. That's going to score 1 run. Hosmer is going to go to third on that. Let's look at Hosmer's speed. He should go to third on that. He's at least a 3. And he is. So first and third, and it's 2-0 Padres. This is not what I expected when I knew that deGrom was going to take the mound for the Mets. So the Mets are down 2-0 here in the first inning. But remember, this is 2019, so I mean, you can easily come back. Now it's Francisco Mejia, who batted 265, and in our replays, batting 289. That's a 4-4. And that's going to be against a switch hitter who's batting lefty. That's going to be a walk plus. A walk plus. Let's see. A walk plus is a 10, so we got to make it a 15. That's a 9. That's ball 4. So Mejia's walks. Bases are loaded. Wow. deGrom is struggling to get out of the first inning. And he's facing Luis Urias, who batted 223. And he'll probably manage a hit somehow. A ground ball, that kind of seeing-eye ground ball that gets through the infield. That's all I've had so far. And so deGrom looks into Ramos for the sign. He sets and deals. Urias is a right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. That's a 5-5, and that's against a righty. That's a potential K, and a 9. Strike 3, and that retires the side. So So deGrom reaches back for a little extra, blows one by. Luis Urias retires the side, but not before the Padres score 2 runs on 4 hits, and they lead it 2-zip going into the bottom of the first. Wow, that was a surprising start. Right? Surprising start to the game. All right, Ahmed Rosario versus the lefty Eric Lauer. Like I said earlier, Lauer was 8-10 with a 4.45 ERA. Walked 47, struck out 138. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-4, and that's a potential walk. And a 5 versus a lefty is ball 4, so Rosario's on at first. Rosario had 19 stolen bases, so we're going to try to get a lead with him, although Lauer is a -1. His attempt to win, we're going to need a 3. We can use, no, I think we used that. We're looking for a 3. We don't get it. So Rosario's on at first, and it's J.D. Davis. Pitch from Lauer, 4-1. Versus a righty that's a K+. So that's going to be strike 3 and rings him up. Back to the bench goes Davis. Now, Pete Alonso, 2-3. Double question mark, and 3 is going to be something. A righty, going to be a star line, falls into the star line, which is an out for the pitcher. And it's a fly ball, center field. Margot settles under it, makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down, and it's Wilson Ramos batting cleanup today. I didn't go over the Mets lineup. Mets lineup is Rosario leading off, Davis in the 2-hole in left field. Batting third is Pete Alonso, and the cleanup spot is Wilson Ramos. Then batting fifth is Robbie Cano, the second baseman. Batting sixth is Todd Frazier, the third baseman. The right fielder is Michael Conforto in the 7th slot. Batting eighth is Juan Lagares. And finally in the 9th slot is Jacob deGrom, Wilson Ramos versus Eric Lauer. Runner on first, 2 outs for the Mets. It's a 5-2, and that's a potential K and a 5. Let's see, the ballpark card is a 5, is a K, and that retires the side. Wilson Ramos strikes out looking, and we move to the top of the second. So the pitcher Eric Lauer, he's a righty versus deGrom. That's a 3-6, and that's a potential K, and it will be a K. 1 up, 1 down for deGrom here. deGrom had a shaky first inning. Oh. All right, it's a 1-4, and that's a potential K, and a 13 versus a righty is strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jacob deGrom. Manuel Margot. That's a 63, and that's a blank. So we're going to Margot's card. A 55er is a ground ball to the third baseman, Frazier. He scoops it. Guns to first. Gets Margot, and that retires the side. Robbie Cano, one of my favorite players, went from the Yankees to the Seattle Mariners, and I believe it was 2013, 2014. For $240 million for a 10-year contract. He moved to a place that really wasn't suited for Cano. Cano is a Caribbean guy, and you know, New York has that Caribbean flavor. So he was comfortable in New York, and he had his family nearby. It was just a 2.5-hour plane ride from the Dominican Republic. That's Cano's hometown. And there's a Caribbean Dominican flavor in New York, so he was really, you know, a celebrity, a major celebrity in the community. He was constantly being, called on to make, you know, local appearances for the Dominican community, and he gave up all that. He went for the money. He went to Seattle, and you know what? He had 3 good seasons in Seattle. The first year, he had a drop in his power because, of course, he didn't have the friendly confines of the 315 down the line of Yankee Stadium. I mean, Cano's a line drive hitter, and most of his home runs were line drives into right field, into the right field seats. And he was hitting 25 home runs with the Yanks easily, without trying, without changing his swing much, without uppercutting. He would just, beat Cano. Cano was a line drive hitter. And when he got to Seattle, that wasn't working. That was not working for him. So he had to change his swing a little bit and adjust. And then eventually he turned to the Peds. And then he got caught. He suffered a suspension, 80-game suspension, had to sit out for 80 games. All right, so it's Robbie Cano. That's a little bit on his bio, a little bio on Robbie Cano. And he's a left-handed hitter, batted .256 with 13 home runs. Had only 390 at bats. He was, I think he had spent he was on the injured list 3 times. That's foul back, a souvenir for a lucky fan. All right, 66. That's a blank. We're looking off Cano's card, a 1, 2, and that's a question mark 8. We rolled a 16 versus a lefty. We roll a 16. That is a fly ball that Margot catches up to. Line drive off the bat of Cano, but Margot played it right. Makes the out, and Todd Frazier, the Todd father, 51. 51 is a ballpark result, so we're going to look at the ball field. 63, and that's a line drive base hit in the gap, cut off by Margot, and it looks like Frazier is going for 2. Frazier is a 3-base runner, and he makes it. Double for Frazier, a 1-out double. So Margot took his time getting to that ball, and Frazier took advantage of it and made a single into a double. So he's on at second base. And this is a real simple system. If your base running ability beats the die roll, you get the extra base. I mean, how easy is that to remember, right? Hey, Dave Gardner. Welcome, Dave Gardner. Yeah, so it's a simple system to learn. In other words, if the base runner's ability beats the die roll, he gets the extra base. If the die roll beats the base runner, he usually holds, but sometimes he could be thrown out. If it's a 6, he's thrown out on that stretching a single into a double. I really like that aspect of this game. It's very realistic, but you have that added drama. And it's not always like he's safer out. Sometimes he doesn't even go. But it's just that you have the possibility of thinking of considering taking that extra base, like a lot of guys do. It takes a big turn and decides, you know what, I can beat this. And the ball was hitting the gap, so Margot kind of, took a roundabout angle toward the ball, and Frazier said, a veteran being a veteran that he is, he decided, hey, I can make it to second base. So that puts a runner in scoring position for the Mets with only 1 out, and it's a Michael Conforto coming to bat now. All right, Michael Conforto, Eric Lauer. So 1-6 and a walk plus. Walk plus versus a lefty, that's ball 4. So high outside on that 3-2 count to Conforto. He trots down to first base, puts runners on first and second. It's Juan Lagares. See if Juan Lagares can show up here. 2-5 is a K. A 20 won't be a K. So we're going to roll off Lagares. That's a 6-4. 6-4 is a ground ball to the first baseman. This could be a potential double play here. Lagares is a 2. Lauer is a 0. I don't think there's any pluses for Urias and Tatis. Let me see. Oh, yeah, he's got a -1. A -1 and Urias is going to be a -1. So wait a second. I don't think there's a chance for a double play because that's a 2. Actually, it's a 3. It's a 3 minus 2. It's a 1. So if I roll a 1, it's a double play. And a 6, there's only one play, and that's the first base. So the first baseman, Hosmer, beats Lagares to the bag. 3 unassisted. Both runners move up for Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom has his own pitcher batting card. And here's the pitch. That's a 6-5. That's a potential strikeout, a 17. Oh, no, not a strikeout. So we're rolling off deGrom. See what happens. So 1-4, and that's chopped to first. Hosmer is going to take it himself. Back-to-back, 3 unassisted. And we go to the top of the third. It's going to be Manny Machado leading off. It's going to be Machado, Hosmer, and Renfroe. That's a 5-4, and that's a potential strikeout, and a 14 is not a strikeout. And a 3-2 is a ground ball chopped to second. Cano throws him out. Next is Eric Hosmer, who's a left-handed hitter. In our replay, he's batting .275. In reality, he batted .265. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-1. That's a strikeout. Potential strikeout. A 7 is a strikeout. Hosmer. Curve gets him. That's 2 outs. And it's Hunter Renfroe. Pitch from deGrom, 6-3. And that's a blank. We'll roll on Renfroe's card. It's a 4-3. And a 4-3 is line and caught by Cano. He's right there, positioned perfectly. And that retires the side. We're at the bottom of the third. Ahmed Rosario leading off for the Mets. It's going to be Ahmed, Davis, and Alonso, the polar bear. All right, 3-1. That's a potential hit by pitch -3. 3 is 0, so there's no hit by pitch there. We're rolling off of Rosario. 1-5er, and that's ground ball right side and through for a base hit. Rosario's on for the second time. And we're going to try, a 4. That may work. The attempt is 4, then it's -1. So no, the 4 doesn't do it. It would have had to have been a 3. All right, it's J.D. Davis. That's a 2-3, and a 2-3 is a double question mark. We have an 8 against a righty. That's a star line. Star line may turn into a double play. Star line 6 is a fly ball to right. Franmil Reyes towards the line. He's there. Puts it away for the first out. Next is Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso has some monster home run numbers. Let me see if he has a home run on his card. No, he doesn't. I guess he doesn't need the home run on his card. Hit 53 round trippers in 2019. So Pete Alonso is a batter to be reckoned with. He's a fence buster, if you will. So it's Eric Lauer versus Pete Alonso with Rosario on at first base. That makes Alonso the tying run here in the bottom of the third. It's a 5-4. And that's a righty blank. The righty blank, so we go on Pete Alonso's card, a 66, and that's grounded to third. Machado. Ground ball, that's a grounded into double play 2. But you got a minus on the second baseman. Urias is a -2, I believe. So that's a 0. So there's no chance for the double play. Now we may get a fielder's choice. Rosario is a base running. Oh no, it's not him. I didn't think that was him. It's J.D. Davis is a base running 1. Rosario is a 4. So let's see. Let's see if Rosario can beat the roll, and he can. So he makes it to second base. That's a fun play. That's 5-3 across the diamond. Rosario over to second. And Wilson Ramos. It's a 6-1, and that's a K+. 15 on the card. It's a +1, so that makes it a 16. We roll a 13, strike 3, and that retires the side. 2-0, Padres. Top of the fourth, deGrom. 5-2. That's a double question mark and a 1 against a righty is a blank. So we're going to roll off a Franmil Reyes card. It's a 6-3, and that's a line shot past the third baseman, Frazier, into left field, and Davis gets it into Rosario. J.D. Davis is out and left. It's a leadoff single by Franmil Reyes. And it's Francisco Mejia now. Pitch from deGrom, a 3-1. And that's a walk plus. A walk plus is a 15. On the card, it's a -1, so that makes it a 14. And we roll a 15, so it's not a walk. A lot of calculation there. I think I have to pull out my calculator on that one. 4-3, and that's line to the shortstop, Rosario. Now, this potentially could be a double play with a runner on first and a line shot to the shortstop. It's going to be on a 1. On a roll of a 1, we're going to get a double play, and no double play. So that's an L6. So Mejia lines out. Oh, wait, runner's not the okay, yeah. And it's Luis Urias. Check up deGrom, 4-3, the pitch. That's a range play ballpark. I like those results. Those are fine. Now, a 6 is usually a hit, and a 1 is almost always an out. So it's somewhere in between here. We rolled a 4, 5, 6. We don't know what exactly is going to happen. It's a fly ball to center field. The center fielder for the Mets is Lagares. I believe he's been graded a 3, and that's going to drop in. That drops in. He does not get to that. And let's see. It was a 5, 6. That an F8. That may failed range check, F8. Let's see. That may mean that all right, this could turn into a double, is what I'm seeing here. Failed range check on a fly ball. It could turn into a double on a roll of a 5 or a 6. It's going to drop in there, and Reyes and Urias is going to make a double out of it. And it is going to be a double. So we may try to score Reyes from first base. Let's see what Reyes' base running is. Reyes is a 3. A double to center makes it a +1. That's a 4. Lagares has no arm out there. Oh, wait, he does have a -2. Wow. That makes it a 2. So we're going to hold up on that. So Reyes is going to stop at third, and it's going to be second and third with only 1 out against deGrom here. So again, deGrom has pitched himself into a pickle. Fortunately for deGrom, the pitcher is up right now. Cards are a little sticky. They're brand new. I printed them out yesterday, and the day before. All right, Lauer batted 100. Here's a pitch. That's a 5-4. That's going to be a potential K, and a 3 is a K. Strike 3, that's out number 2. So now deGrom is going to face Fernando Tatis, the always dangerous Fernando Tatis. Derek, Dodgers Royals fan in the house. Welcome. Everyone from Cell Block, California. Yeah. Yep, you're right. Now, Tatis is dangerous because Tatis batted .317. He only played half the season at 334 at-bats, hit 22 home runs. So proportionally, he would have had a 44 home run season. He stole 16 bases. So that would have made it 32 stolen, but he would have been a 30-30 player. Fernando Tatis. He missed half the season, though, and that's why Manny Machado had to play both third base and shortstop, and he really did a stand. It was a standout at both those positions, or at least according to the highlights. All right, so I'm thinking, do we walk Tatis here to face Margot, who's a 234 hitter? That's a 100-point difference, and anytime there's a 100-point difference, I elect to intentionally walk the batter. All right, so we're going to check the box score for batters faced for deGrom. He's faced 19 batters. He can go 25. And he's going to face Manny Margot, right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-4, and that's a K. A 17 is not a K, so we're rolling off Margot. And, deGrom hasn't had good luck in this game at all. That's a 6-1, and that's a star line fly to left. Davis backs up a few steps, makes the catch, and that retires the side. So it was a good move to walk Tatis because I have a feeling Tatis would have had more success. Not going to check, but it's Robbie Cano, bottom of the fourth, 2-0 Mets. 1-3 is a blank, so we're rolling off Cano. That's a 3-2. 3-2 is a star line fly to right. Cano drives it in the gap, and Reyes runs it down for the out. Todd Frazier. All right, 4-4 is a range play, so Frazier gets to use the green die. And that's a high number, so that's good for Frazier. 5-2, and that's a ground ball past the second baseman, Urias. And there's no way Urias is a 5 to be able to get that. There's no way. I mean, I don't even have to check, but Urias is a 3 at second base. Not too bad. Holds his own, but this is a base hit. And lead, one out single for Todd Frazier, and now it's Michael Conforto. Now, all these guys have home run potential, so it's a 2-6, and that's a home run check. We rolled a 19. That's not what we want versus a lefty. It's a 10 on Conforto's card. So just when I said, hey, everybody's got good power, all of a sudden there's a home run check. But no, that 19 is not going to cut it. That's a high roll there, my friends. So Michael Conforto, we're looking off his card. And it's a 4-2. That's a fly to deep right center field. Margot on the run, on the track, and makes the catch a step before the wall. It's a fly out to center. So Conforto gave it a ride. But just not enough. Lagares. Snake Eyes is a range play ball field. And we're going to use that green die. Remember that high rolls are hits and low rolls are usually outs. It's a pretty high roll, so Conforto may get lucky. Let's see what happens. 1-2. It's a star line 2, which is a ground ball to the second baseman. That's past Urias. Going to third is Frazier. First and third now with 2 outs. And that brings up Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom, we may be able to get him through 2 more innings. So with 2 outs and runs on first and third, he's going to bat. See what happens. Eric Lauer, the pitch. 6-2. 6-2 is a wild. This may bring in a run, but it goes up. His wild goes up to 12. 1-10 wild, 11-12 pass ball. And that, my friends, is above that roll. So he does not. We do not get the easy run. 5-6. The free run, that's grounded to first. Hosmer is going to flip to Lauer covering, and that retires the side. The Mets leave 2, score none, and at the end of 4 complete, it's Padres 2, Mets zip. Manny Machado. It's a 2-4, and it's going to be a K+, strike 3. Brings up Machado. deGrom against Hosmer is a lefty. 3-2, that's an error on a throw. Maybe an error on a throw. We'll see. That's a 3. That's probably going to be an error on a throw. 4-2, we'll see what it is. 4-2 is a ground ball past. No, a ground ball that Cano gets to and may throw over the head of the first baseman, allowing Hosmer to take second base. And it looks like he does. Let's double check that. S4 error. What do we roll? It was I believe it was an error on a grounder. So failed error on a grounder check. On an S. Okay. So it's just an S4. All right. So it said there's no error on the play. So Hosmer's on at first with one out. I'll double check that one more time. Error on a grounder. On a single, it's just a single. It's on the failed error check and on the failed error throw check that you would check for a throwing error. So there's no throwing error there. He boots the Cano doesn't get to the ball. The official score says hit. It's debatable. It could have been argued an error, but they basically considered it to be a hit for Hosmer, and I'm sure he's happy about that. All right, Hunter Renfroe, tremendous power. 20 versus righties and a 17 versus lefties. I'm sorry, 20 versus lefties and a 17 versus righties. If you get to that roll, we'll see what happens. 4-3. And again, it's a range play, ballpark. Again, we use that green die, and it's a high roll again. 1-6er rather. 1-6er is a ground ball past Cano, and Hosmer's going to go to third. Wow, so we may have to pull deGrom here based on his hits, runs, and walks. He's got 2 walks, although one of them is an intentional walk. He's got a 10 there. Wow, he's passed. He's passed his ball, runs, and hits rating. So we're going to have to pull deGrom here. This is very, very, very surprising. Wow. I didn't expect to have to do this so soon, but that's why you never know what's going to happen when we roll these tabletop games or in even actual baseball. You never know what's going to happen. Now we're going to take a break for station identification. Thank you for watching Tabletop Baseball, CP Cards and Dice. And I hope you are following all the directives of your local health department and the CDC, recommending social distancing and mask wearing and basically self-isolation, self-imposed isolation. Stay safe, stay healthy. Now I'm pulling up the Mets. Now I know more or less who Mets have. And I can check the good thing about using Replay Baseball is that it keeps track of the rosters. So I can see everybody who's actually on my roster. So I have a good idea of who I can bring in here. I got Gazelman. This is a close game, so I'm going to bring in Gazelman. I like to look at the box scores to make sure those players were playing in this series. There's Gazelman. Confirming. I know Gazelman was around pretty much the whole season. I don't remember him going on the injured list at all. But he is on the roster, so, he is available to pitch. He's not on the injured list, because if he were on the injured list, he wouldn't be on the roster. That's a good thing about this. And we're looking over here on my left. I got I'm going to bring up the Mets. So we're looking up the Mets schedule for 2019. This is game 102. Scores 2-0. We are in the top of the 5th. deGrom is going to get pulled. We're scrolling down to game 102 to see who the pitchers were in this series. Something that once I look at, I remember, and then I'll be using those pitchers more or less for the whole series. Game 102 versus the San Diego Padres. The final score of this, actually, deGrom, it was 4-0 Mets in this game. And Lugo came in, and Edwin Diaz and Luis Avilan. So we're going to bring in Lugo. Got a paper cut on my finger, so it's hard for me to go through these. Nasty little paper cut. I got to put a Band-Aid on it. Once I go through these cards a few times, they get that the natural oils that are released through our pores, and the cards are much easier to manipulate. There's Seth Lugo. He's going to come in. All right. He's a heck of a pitcher, by the way. He had a 2.70 ERA, a 7-4 record with 6 saves. Pitched in 80 innings, had 104 strikeouts. I think one of the only relievers to have 104 strikeouts, or one of a handful of relievers to have over 100 strikeouts. Take a look at that. Very, very interesting. So Lugo's going to come in. We're going to click on him. We click sub, and he's in. Done. All right, he's facing Reyes. Hunter, so wait a second. Where do I get? Franmil Reyes is up. There he is. There's a pitch from Seth Lugo, 6-1. It's a double question mark, and an 8 against a righty is going to be a 1-4. So we're going to have to roll on Reyes' card. And it's a 1-2, and that's a fly ball right field with 1 out. This could turn into a sacrifice fly, and a 3 is a sacrifice fly, and it is. So scoring the 3rd run of the game is Hosmer. So Reyes gives it a ride to Conforto and right. That's deep enough to score the run, and it's a sacrifice fly. 3-0 Padres, 2 outs. Next is Francisco Mejia. That's a Snake Eyes, which is ballpark result. That's a 1-6er. That's a blank, so that's going to be a rare play. So I got and the chart is right down here. Rare play is a lot of injuries and that sort of thing. I don't really play with injuries, but we're going to roll these 2d6 here, 2 tiny ones. 6-3, and a 6-3 means ball is called for a walk. Pitcher argues and gets thrown out of the game. Okay. That's lovely. Ball 4. And who's up? Mejia's still up. He's a switch hitter batting lefty. We're going to bring in Avilan. So Lugo gets tossed. And we're going to bring in Avilan. And then we'll skip and look for another pitcher because we're going to need another pitcher. Hopefully Avilan is in here. Oh, there he is. Okay, we do have Avilan. He's a lefty thrower versus the switch hitter Mejia. Actually, Mejia is a little bit better versus lefties, but we don't really know that yet because the season is still playing. All right, so lefty Avilan is coming in. Lugo faces two batters, walks, gets one to fly out, walks the other, and then gets tossed from the game for arguing balls and strikes. And looks like Mickey Callaway is going to get tossed as well. The umpire is talking in the Mets dugout and he's telling somebody to get out, and it's going to be Mickey Callaway. He's given his lineup card to the assistant coaches. Phil Regan, the 81-year-old pitching coach for the Mets, is now in charge of the Mets. Francisco Luis Urias now against Luis Avilan. So he's a righty. That doesn't matter at this point. All right. Let's see. 4-5. 4-5 is a range play. Again, we're using the green die. Well, a lot of high numbers with that green die today. That's another pretty high number. 5-1. And that's a blank. Now with a runner on base. We should have. Did I look with a runner on base? Let me see. Hold on a second. 60. That was a 63 with a runner on base. 3-2 pitch, strike 3. Hitter argues call. Oh, no. Wait a second. Wait a second. There's a runner on first with that Mejia call. Lugo's still in the game. Wait a second. I looked at bases empty. So let's erase that. And Mejia's going to get tossed. That's strike 3, inning over. Mejia gets tossed. He's going to have to be replaced. So let's see who our other catcher is here. Let's see. We should have only one other catcher. And position. Hedges. Hedges is coming in. Hedges is in there now. He's replacing Mejia. So we're going to get his card. So Hedges gets tossed for arguing the strikeout. Mejia gets tossed, and Hedges comes in to replace Mejia. And so Lugo's still in there, luckily for us. I got the change at catcher. Rosario's up. 3-0, bottom of the 5th. See if the Mets can come back. The pitcher of record is Jacob deGrom right now. It's going to be a 4-6. That's a blank. Oh, foul ball. 1-6, and that's a line drive. Base hit to right. So Rosario's on with a single. Next is J.D. Davis. That's a 6-3. And that's an error, a potential throwing error. See what happens. 3-3. Fly ball right field. No throw there required. 1 away. Now let's check Lauer's numbers. Let's see how many he's faced. Lauer's faced 20 batters. He can face 22, so he can go this inning, and then he'll get pulled. Pete Alonso, 3-2. It's a potential K, and 18 is not a K. Off Alonso's card, a 3-1, and that's grounded to short. Tatis. Potential double play here. That's a 2. He's a 0. That's a 3. Now we got to look at the plus and minuses of the pivot guy, Urias. Let's see. Urias, I think, made. Oh, no. Okay. Pivot guy, he's a -1, so that 3 becomes a 2. So on a 2, it's a double play. It's a 1. It is a double play, a 1 or a 2. It's a 6-4-3 double play. That's an inning-ending double play. So we go to the top of the 6th inning. Lugo's in there. Lugo can go 5. 5 batters faced for Lugo. He's faced, I believe, 2 or 3 already. 1-5. That's a potential error on the throw. See what happens here. We're looking, that's a high number, so it's probably not an error on the throw. 3-6. That's a star line, fly to right. Conforto. Cruz is under it, makes the catch. So Urias flies out, and now it's Lauer, Eric Lauer. And let's double check how many batters faced. Lugo has 3 batters faced, so he's still good for a couple more batters. Lauer is a 6-4. And it says a potential walk at 12 is not a walk. We're rolling off Lauer. And Lauer should be pinch hit for here. Wait a second. Yeah, because he's going to get pulled next inning. So we should pinch hit for him. Let's do that. Let's play this. And who are we going to bring in? Greg Garcia is going to pinch hit. We got a roll already for Greg Garcia. Actually, the walk may have been a walk there. Let me see. going to roll again because I can't remember the exact roll, and I really don't care. So we're going to roll again for Garcia. And what we're going to do then, wow, they have a 3-man bench now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to use coming up for the Mets is going to be definitely there's going to be a lefty coming up. So I think we're going to use Logan. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Mets. Mets are going to have Ramos, Cano, and Frazier, 2 righties. So we're going to bring in a righty. It's going to be Luis Perdomo, and we're going to turn that face down so we remember to insert him because sometimes I forget. All right, Lugo is going to face Greg Garcia with 1 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch. We're going to start from scratch. 6-1 is a double question mark against a lefty, and that's going to be a blank, so we're going to go to Garcia. It's a 5-5, and that's chopped to first. Alonso scoops it and gets to the bag ahead of Garcia for out number 2. A lot of changes in modern baseball. A lot of, pitchers who can only go a few batters, and that's a big difference from playing the retro seasons, which I play a lot. All right, so it's going to be Lugo versus Tatis. Here's the pitch, 6-1. Again, a question mark against a righty, and that's going to be base hit, center field. For Tatis, he's on with a 2-out single. And Tatis is going to try to steal a 4. Nope, not going to do it. Manuel Margot, 3-1. That's a potential error. And maybe an error. Let's see, 5-4. 5-4 is a righty ground ball to third. Frazier, I think, has a pretty good error rating, actually. That's going to be above his error rating. Frazier's error rating, which I'm learning still, is an 8. Just made it. Just got to that ball. Bobbled it for a second. Fires the first in time. Gets Margot by half a step. Margot doesn't think so. He's talking to his first base coach, and now he's talking to the umpire. And the first base coach it has to get between them both. And Margot settles down now and heads toward the bench. It's a 5-3 ground ball that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Thank you, Red Sox fan. Thank you, sir. Always so kind. All right, so Luis Perdomo. So putting the card face down reminds me I got to put him in. Sometimes I'll just keep playing. In that case, I had a pinch hitter, so of course I couldn't because I wouldn't have a pitcher. But I think you may be even able to play without a pitcher. Let me see. Oh yeah, you can. So I have no pitcher, but so who did I say was Perdomo's coming in? Okay, Perdomo can go. Let's see, go 6 batters, and that's a lot for 2019. All right, so what do we got going here? Wilson Ramos leading off the bottom of the 6th for the Mets. The Mets are down 3-0. It's San Diego, 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and New York, no runs, 5 hits, 0 errors. This is pandemic baseball. All right, 3-5, and that's a K+. K+ against a righty is going to be a 15. We roll a what? And I'm trying to get that 20, but I'm not going to get it. It's an 8. Strike 3 and blows away Ramos. Robbie Cano now, 4-6. It's a hit by pitch, -3. Cano's a 9. That's a 6. We roll a 15, so it's not a hit by pitch. Robbie Cano off his card, 5-5. And that's he ripped to short. Tatis scoops it, guns to first, and gets Cano. The Todd father up against Perdomo. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, 5-1, 3-0. Padres. 5-1's a potential K. A 2 is a no doubt K, and that retires the side. Frazier down swinging. Machado leading off against Lugo. Let's check Lugo. Lugo may have to be pulled. Lugo's got 1.2, and he's faced all his batters. So he's going to get pulled. Well, let's see who else we got coming in the next game for the Mets. Diaz plays in this one. Let's see who pitches in the next game for the Mets. The next game is going to be against the Pirates. I'm going to play that series as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Mets use Gazelman and Wilson, so we have those guys. So we're going to bring in Gazelman. We already had intended to bring him in before. So let's see. We got a righty Machado, a lefty Hosmer, and then a righty. So we got two righties coming. All right. So we're going to get Robert Gazelman replacing Lugo. Now, I think the Mets bullpen was their weak spot in 2019. All right, here's a pitch from Gazelman. It's a 1-2, and that's a potential hit by pitch, +7, 7-14. Oh, and Manny gets plunked, and he doesn't like it. Staring down Gazelman. Has a few words for Gazelman, and Gazelman's looking right back at him and saying something. And catcher's out there, umpire's out there, and they're going to separate them before the dugout's empty and the bullpen's empty. We don't want to go that far with this. But it's a hit by pitch on Manny Machado, and he's a guy that is easily excitable. You can go to YouTube and check out all the Manny Machado scandals, if you will, or train wrecks, or derails, or whatever you want to call them. Hosmer, Robert Gazelman. Machado's on at first. Pitch. 1-6 against a lefty. That's a single. Up the middle. Ligares plays it on the hop. Machado, he's a 3, and that's a single up the middle. I believe he's going to make it to third easily. And he does. He may not. No, he may not. He's not a 4. I don't think he's a 4. I think he's a 3. Machado is a... Yeah, I'm starting to memorize these already. Machado's a 3, so he stops at second base. First and second. Nobody out. Hunter Renfroe. With with 33 home runs. Here's the pitch, 2-6. It's a walk plus. Walk plus is ball 4. Bases loaded. Gazelman comes in, loads the bases. He can go 5, so he can go 2 more batters. So the infield is in for the Mets. They're going for the play at home, 1-6. That is a righty, so that's going to be a blank. We're looking off Reyes, 4-1. And that's line base hit center field. That's going to score 1 at least. I don't know what Hosmer's going to do. We're going to check his speed. It's just not Mets day. We keep on finding all the hits on the cards. Hosmer's a 3. Single to center field is a +2. That's a 5. But Ligares is a -2. So it's back to a 3. And we're going to hold him. All right, so 1 run comes in. Bases are still loaded. Austin Hedges. Infield's in for the Mets. 4-0. Pitch from Gazelman. 5 is a K. A potential K at 20 will not be a K. It's too high a number there. That's a 2-5, and that's grounded to short. Rosario going to have to roll on Hosmer. It's going to be a -2. So on a 1, he's safe at home, and it's a 2. So we get him. We get the out at home. Wait a second. We could go for a double play here. Let's see. Wait a second. Let's backtrack. 2-5 is a grounded to short. Double play. Oh, Austin Hedges is a 4, plus Gazelman's a 5. So that's a 5 on a double play, and we rolled a 2, and that's going to be a 6-2-3 double play. So 6-2-3 double play on this infield in. Not going to get that right now, but I got to call him back. All right, so Hedges grounds into a 6-2-3 double play. Infield's back now for the Mets. There's runners on second and third, and it's going to be Udias. Udias a 233 hitter. Gazelman, I don't know if Gazelman's fatigued yet. You can go 5 batters. And Gazelman, I'll check the box score. Gazelman's gone 5 batters, so he's fatigued. We're going to keep him in there for this one batter. 4-5. And 4-5 is a potential error. So this is big here. Remember, there's runners on second and third. We're re-rolling that. Sometimes I do that. All right, there he goes. 4-6. That's a fly ball center field. A 14 will not be an error. And Lagares makes the catch and now retires the side. All right, so the Padres pick up a run, but the Mets are still in the game, 4-0. They still got 3 innings to come back. Let's see if they can start something. Luis Perdomo, let's see what he can do here. I try to minimize, ins and outs of pitchers. He's got 1 inning, face 3 batters. He can face 6 batters. Take a quick sip of water. In our replay, Mets are in second place. This is game 102 of the season. We're using actual lineups. 2019, San Diego, who lost this game 4-0, are up 4-0. So that's the reverse of what actually happened. Michael Conforto is leading us off. He batted .257 with 33 home runs. Here's the pitch. It's a 4-4 from Perdomo. 4-4 is ballpark. So we're going to look at the City Field. And it's a 4-6, and a 4-6 is popped up. And Hedges towards the fence, and he makes the catch. So it's a foul out to 2 for Conforto. Next is Juan Lagares. It's a 1-2, and that's wild, so that's a foul ball. Souvenir for a lucky fan. 1-2 again. That's a foul ball as well. That's a 1-6 this time. That's a range play, so we're using the green die. Remember, the 6 is a hit, and the 1 is an out. It's a low number. It's probably an out, 3-2, but you never know. 3-2, fly ball left field. Renfroe's out there, and I believe Renfroe's a decent outfielder. I believe he's a 4. I'm not even going to look. He makes the catch. Renfroe and Margot are pretty good out there. Reyes is the one who's weak. And that's going to bring up the 9th place hitter, and we're going to bring up a pinch hitter. Mets are going to use, against Perdomo, they're going to use Dom Smith. See if we can get something going with Dom Smith here. And then we're going to bring in a new pitcher. It's going to probably be Justin Wilson. Who else are Mets using this game? Let's see. They use Wilson, they use Lugo, they use Avilan. We're going to bring in Justin Wilson. Had a good season with the Mets as well. They had about 3 pitchers that had, or 2 pitchers. So I think Wilson and Lugo had the best seasons for the Mets. And Wilson's been around a while. He's new to the Mets, but he's been around a while, at least years. Doesn't say his age on the card, but not that it needs to. It's fine the way it is. I don't need extra stuff on the card. I like to keep it nice and clean. These cards are particularly easy to read. If you have any kind of issues, seeing the digits, this is a very clean card and makes it very, very easy to read. I love that about these cards. All right, so Justin Wilson is going to be the pitcher that's going to come in for the Mets most likely. They got Avilan and Wilson, both 2 lefties. It's going to be Dom Smith against Luis Perdomo. Nobody on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, Mets are down 4-0. 5-3. That's a blank, so we're looking off Smith. Smith batted .282. 2-2, and he was injured for about 8 weeks. That's a star line 4. That's chopped to short. Tatis waits back, now charges, fires the first in time, and gets Smith. All right, new pitcher. It's going to be pinch hitter coming up. We go one more game to see if I got a righty in the bullpen. Although, let's see who's. All right, it doesn't say if the righties or lefties in that section. All right, so I'm going to have to check. Pitcher's up, so we're going to see a pinch hitter. Then I got a righty and I got another righty. So I want to bring. There's a lot of righties on this team. So I want to see if I can get another righty here. Let's see the next game for the Mets. And Matz is going to go a complete game. Wow, Matz goes a complete game in the second game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I think there was a complete game in this game by deGrom. That was. Oh, Bachelor. And Bachelor's in there. All right, good. All right, so we got this kid named Tyler Bachelor. He's in here somewhere. We may bring him in. Let's see what. But he wasn't very good. Still a game that's within reach. We still have 6 more outs to try to do something. Tyler Bachelor, 6.95 ERA. Holy smokes. All right, let's see what happens. If he gets in trouble, we'll have to bring in a lefty. All right, Bachelor, let's see. There he is. He's in the game now. Against pinch hitter. A lot of moves in modern baseball, my friends. So he's going to face Ian Kinsler. Ian Kinsler is going to come in to pinch hit. Here goes. 3-2. 3-2 is an error on a grounder. And it's a 3-5. It's a grounder to second. That's an 8. Cano. All right, let's see. Tyler Bachelor is here. Kinsler is there. Cano is a 4 error. Didn't make a lot of errors, Cano. So he gets to that one, 4-3. 1 away. There's a 3-3. And I think I looked at the wrong pitcher. Yeah, Eric Grant. I looked at the wrong pitcher. It was a 3-2, I believe. And a 3-2 would have been a star line out. So that's going to be an out anyway. So we're not going to worry about it. But I looked at the wrong pitcher. When you're doing a lot of stuff, pulling cards from different teams and going different sections and switching innings, everything gets jumbled and it looks like a big salad of numbers. So you got to slow down a little bit and take a look at everything and kind of take a deep breath. All right, so Tatis is up, and use the computer game to kind of guide you as well. That tells me everything what I have to focus on. So Bachelor's on the mound. Tatis is behind the play, is in the box. There's 1 out, top of the 8th. Mets are down 4-0, and here goes. Pitch from Bachelor, 4-6. That's a walk plus, and a 3. Oh, that's a walk for sure. There's no doubt about that. All right, so let's see if we get a lefty coming up. Then we're gonna definitely bring in a lefty pitcher. All right, Margot now running on first. It's a 3-4. 3-4 is a home run question mark, and that's an 18. Won't be a home run. So we're looking at Margot, 4-1, and versus a righty. It's a ground ball to short. This could turn into a double play. Margot's a 1. Bachelor's a +2. That's 3. Halfway, that's a 4. I don't believe there's any negatives for the Mets. No negatives with Ahmed Rosario. And, okay, so there's no negatives. So that's a 4. So if we roll a 4 or less, it's a double play, and it is. So that's going to be a 4-1. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and we're out of the inning. So the bottom of the 8th. It's we're going to need a new pitcher, and the new pitcher is going to be in the bottom of the 8th. What do we got coming up? We got Rosario. We got top of the order, J.D. Davis. We got 3 righties coming up. So we're going to bring in a guy named Michael Baez. Michael Baez is coming in. He can go 5 batters. I really like it when they tell you who the closer is, because otherwise, well, I can look at the saves. That's true. I can look at the saves. Who is their closer? I don't even know here. Plus, there's so many trades in modern baseball that they may have had a closer and then they trade them. Stammen has 4 saves. Kirby Yates has 41 saves. Oh, okay. So I just learned something. I didn't know that they really had a closer. All right. So Ahmed Rosario is leading off bottom of the 8th versus Michael Baez. Right inside pitch baseball. It's 4-0. Padres. 2-1 is a K, and a 14 versus a righty is not a K. So we're rolling off Rosario. Rosario's got 2 hits today. Let's take a quick peek at the box scores. Rosario's got 2 hits. He's 2 for 2 and a walk, so he's been on base all 3 times. Frazier has 2 hits in this game. Here's a pitch off Rosario's card. A 6-6 is chopped to third. Machado charges, bare hands, it fires to first, and gets him by half a step. And it looks like they want a review on this call. This is a close one. And they're going to New York. They're going to check with New York. Ahmed is still on the bag at first base. He thinks he beat that out. Great play by Manny Machado. Let's look at this in slow motion. Let's check out the replay. And nope, he's out. He's out. And the umpires confirm it. New York confirms it. So there's 1 out, J.D. Davis. That's a 3-1. That's a home run check on J.D. Davis. We rolled a 15. Nope. Roll off J.D. Davis's card, 2-5. And star line 3 with this rip to third, scoop by Machado. Long throw to first in time. Pete Alonso with 2 outs. Pitch from Baez. 2-1's a strikeout and a 9. Strike 3. Retires the side. All right, leading off the top of the 9th. Bachelor can go 4, so he's done. Bachelor's done. We're bringing in a lefty. We're bringing in Wilson. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-3. A 2-3 is a potential K. And we rolled a 15. Won't be a K, so we're rolling off Machado's card. Machado batted 256. 2-3. It's a ground ball, second base, Cano. He's there. Nice hop. Throws him out. 1 up, 1 down. Next is the lefty, Eric Hosmer. It's a 5-4 ground ball, a potential error on a grounder. That's a 13, so it probably won't be that. It's a ground ball, which Cano handles. Whips it to first. 2 outs. And Hunter Renfroe. Pitch to Renfroe. It's a 4-6. It's a home run check, 17. And that ball is gone. Hunter Renfroe gets a hold of one, drives it deep to left field. Back goes Davis to the track, to the wall. Gone. Hunter Renfroe drives one deep. And Justin Wilson wishes that he had that pitch back. Franmil Reyes, 5-0 now. Padres. 6-5. That's a walk plus. Walk plus is against a lefty is a 24. That's an 11. Ball 4 for Reyes. Wilson can go 4 batters. I may have accomplished that already. Let's double check. He is at 4 batters, so he's going to be fatigued for the next batter. Hedges. That's a 2-3. 2-3 is a K. Oh, fatigue walk. Ball 4. All right, so that's now we got a switch hitter. We're going to bring in Avilan, another lefty. Hopefully I don't have to make any more changes because I'm tired of making changes. Luis Avilan with first and second and 2 outs. That's a 3-1. Potential K, a 10 against a lefty is not a K. So we're going off. Oh, wait. Not Mejia. Urias. I'm sorry. So 3-1 is a potential K. And I don't know what that was. Potential K. But, oh, he's about the same. He's about the same as, let me see. Yeah, he's about the same. All right. All right, so no K. Now we're rolling off Urias 3-3, and that's ground ball, third base, past the diving Frazier into left field. Reyes may come around to score. Let's see. Reyes is a 3 with 2 outs. It's a 4. S5 for 4. Let's see if he'll score on this. S5. Second to home. He needs at least a 5, and he's not going to get it. He's going to hold up. Bases are loaded for the pitcher. They're going to see a pinch hitter. It's going to be Will Myers. He's the last player on the bench. And in that last inning, it's going to be Ramos. It's going to be righty, 2 out of 3 righties. So we're going to bring in Strand and Stanton. Stanton's another guy. Let's see if I have him on the team here. Stanton. I may have to look for him. Looking for a relief pitcher that's going to come in the 9th inning. This is a 5-0 game, so we're not bringing in the closer right now. We're just looking for a guy named Stanton. He may have been traded, so I may have to go to another team to look for him. Or I just may pull a guy. Yeah, he's not here, so he may have been traded. Let me quickly check. Oh, no, I do have him. Oh, no, that's Matt Strand. That's his batting card. All right, so let me check on Stanton. And this is for station identification. You are watching Tabletop Baseball TV. CP Cards and Dice, bringing to you the 2019 Mets season. Using Inside Pitch today. And we're looking at Stammen and looking at see what team he went to. He may have stayed here. I may not. I may have to look for him somewhere. No, he was a Padre the whole 2019 season. And he pitched in 76 games. That's weird. That's weird that I don't have him. So I'm going to have to check and see where he's gone, where he's disappeared to. Ah, there he is. I had him here the whole time. I did all that for nothing. All right. Will Myers. Stanton's going to be the new pitcher coming in next inning. Will Myers up here against Luis Avilan. All right, with bases loaded, 2 outs. That's a 2-3. And that's going to be a potential error. Oh, boy. That's a 2-2. We roll a 9. 2-2 is a ground ball to the third baseman, Frazier. He may step on the bag here. And I believe he's going to get to it because I believe he's an 8 error. Just got it. Fumbled it a bit, but got a hold of it at the last minute. He is an 8 error, so he does not commit an error. Steps on the bag, and that's 5 unassisted. All right. Now we go. We got a new pitcher that we got to put in there. And new pitcher is going to be Stanton. There he is. That's to be Wilson Ramos leading it off in the bottom of the ninth. The Mets are down 5-0. The San Diego Padres have 5 runs, 13 hits, no errors. New York Mets have no runs, 5 hits, no errors. Stammen versus Wilson Ramos. The Mets acquired Wilson Ramos for 2 years, and this is his second year. So what is going to happen with that? So we may not have Wilson Ramos anymore, and man, he was a heck of a ball player. So this is crazy. What this season does to our game is really throws it out of whack totally. Wilson Ramos at the plate against Craig Stammen. It's a 3-3. We have range play. We're using that green die. 6 is a hit. 1 is an out. Everything in between you have to check. 4-5. 4-5 is a star line 2, which is a ground ball to the third baseman. And Machado is definitely a 3. I can guarantee that. So I'm not going to even check that, but I will check it just to get a sense of what's what. Manny Machado at third base is a 3. Just makes it a 3, but he's a terrible first shortstop. He's a 1 at shortstop. Wow. I thought he was better than that. But the metrics say it all. It's not what I think. It's the metrics. Cano, Robbie Cano. Stammen versus Robbie Cano, left-handed batter. It's a 5-4. Mets are down to the last 2 outs. It's a double question mark of 17 versus a left-handed batter. It's going to be a star line out of some kind. And it's a 4, and Robbie Cano flies one, goes the opposite way. Little bloop charging in his Renfro, and he gets there for the out. All right. Down to the last out of the game. Mets have the ball really hasn't bounced the Mets' way. I think the Padres have rolled, and those rolls have found every hit they have on their card. The Padres have 13 hits in this game, and it was just like batters batting 220 were getting hits, have multiple hits. Todd Frazier, the Todd father, here's the pitch. It's a 3-3. I think we just rolled that. Again, we're going to roll the green die, which is the range die. High is usually a hit, and a low is usually an out. 5-2. And that's a ground ball to the second baseman. Will Urias get to this on a 2? He may get to it. Let's see what happens. And he does get to it. Nice play by Urias. Fires to first and gets Frazier to end the game. 4-3. Nice play by Urias. And the win goes to Eric Lauer. He's 5-7. deGrom takes the loss, 11-3. Franmil Reyes is the MVP, and let's look and see why. What did he do? Franmil Reyes went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Franmil had 3 singles, but drove in 3 runs, so he's considered by the game to be the MVP, and I'll go with that. I have no problem. The Padres improved their record to 52-50. The Mets dropped to 50-52. And that's about it. Let me look at the box score. Anything else I want to mention? Mets used 6 pitchers. Hitting wise, Rosario had 2 hits and Frazier had 2 hits. The only other hit was by Lagares, who went 1 for 3. And that's it. So you watched the 2019 Mets against the 2019 San Diego Padres. I'm not a guy who's into like the great teams competitions. I just don't do that. I'm not attracted by that concept of playing, the 1901 whatever versus the 2001, Diamondbacks. I just I know there's a lot of that going on. It's just not one of the things I do. I like actual season replays with actual lineups. It may be boring, but that's how I like to do it. This is your home for tutorials, strategy, player profiles, history, reviews, news, tips, tops, baseball cards, rants, unboxings, and everything else that goes with our cool tabletop games. Great hobby, great opportunity to play lots of tabletop games right now and stay safe. I thank all the guys that stopped by and the guys that who spoke and who didn't speak. Al Red Sox fan, Dave Gardner, Derek Dodgers, Royals fan. I thank all those guys for chit-chatting, and I thank all the guys for watching as well. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe. It motivates one to do more of these stream replays, although I do them, because I like to do them. I don't really pay attention. A lot of times I don't really look at, what's on there, who's on there, and that sort of thing. I do it out of courtesy because sometimes people ask you questions. But you can always send me questions to multiple places. I check all my emails. I have a bunch of them. You can send them to combatpain@gmail.com. That's one place you can send my any comments or any questions about anything. So this is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for stopping by, and I will be back in a couple hours with another stream. Take care, guys.